day 29. We've already been busy, been at it for about an hour. Kaylee and I got the truck parked this morning. Had to get the motor, the windshield wiper motor for the water wall into the house so I could use it as a test. Spent my morning, I had to redo the power supply for the obelisk. And the obelisk runs off of a windshield wiper motor. So I grabbed the one for the water wall, took it in the house, so I make sure all my connections were the right connections, and they were. So the obelisk is now up and working. I also had to make up some more power taps. And this is what I'm calling a power tap. I had the connector up here, I didn't have them attached to wiring. So I got those done. I use these for my light boxes. They plug in to these here. These are the new control boards for the RBG light strips on all the light boxes. And I forgot I hadn't made up any new power taps. But I can plug that into that little white thing I showed you, and then connect the other end to my power feed, and my light boxes have power and will work. They don't work very well without power. So I got those done. Just got done getting the obelisk up and running. And no, it's not pointed at you. Sue Ann just came out the door and she looked at me, looked at the camera, and kind of grimaced. She hates being on camera. We'll sneak her in one way or the other, though. She ain't gonna escape that easy. Teasing her. She's grumbling. Anyway, now I got those little projects done. We have 2 spotlights over in the spider snake area, I need to get put in, and that's where Sue Ann's working right now. She's just getting started cobwebbing. I've also got the photo op to finish. I've got a AC cord, power household current cord I need to run for the fogger, the blower, and the projector. And then we need to get hay in there as well. So that will take care of 2 displays. Then I think we are going to work on the front end today and the entrance and try to get those done. And then once we're done with that, we'll see what time it is and how Ram is feeling. And we may move into the photo hall. At least get it started. I don't know how far we'll get, but we'll get it started. Now, see? Told you, she was out here. She's even got my ladder. Wrong time to be bugging her when she's climbing a ladder because she's afraid of heights. She hates heights. But we'll let her do her thing. But, yeah, look at that snarled mess. It always comes out of the bag a snarled mess, and she makes it look so nice. So, but just a matter of attaching and stretching and stretching and stretching and stretching.
Attaching and then stretching and stretching.
Yeah. So, anyway, I'm going to grab the LEDs I need and get the spider done so I am out of Sue's hair. And then we'll head out and start working on the photo op and getting that finished out. Okay, boys and ghouls, pre-dinner segment. No, not happy hour. I'm not doing happy hour. Been a very, very busy day. Sue Ann got in here and got all her cobwebbing done. Everything is set and ready to go. I got in here, got my 2 spots in, these 2 right here. I need to come in tonight and get them aimed, and we'll give you a look at the display with just the lighting on. I'm not turning the pneumatics on tonight. But she went and got that all done as well. After we got done with this one, or while she was working on this one, I went over and got the obelisk fixed in the graveyard, so it's now working. That was the one of the soldering repairs I had to do downstairs. I had to work on the power supply. Past that, made it out into the photo op. We got the hay in, got my power cord in, and then we started on the front entrance, or the front of the haunt, the entrance and the exit. That's all lit, wired up, and done. And Sue Ann's been out there and gotten that cobwebbed. And I also got 2 spots put in the entrance or exit for George and another prop that's in there. And we got the entrance done. And just right now, it's just lighting and stuff needs to be aimed. I can't do that while it's light out. So, that moves us on to the next display. We've got, let's see, tube hallway, spider, photo op, front end, exit, and now entrance. 6 displays done. And yes, I count the entrance and the exit hallways as displays because there are props in them. So they're displays. Oh, well, courtyard's not done. I still got a couple of spotlights to put into that, but I'll do that later. All right, now it's the photo hallway, and this is one I've been dreading because it's a bitch. Each picture, and how many people know who that is? That was taken at West Coast a couple of years back. But I've got to get in here. This year we're going to do blue spots on the regular pictures. And then we've got RGB light boxes scattered throughout. In fact, that's a small one there. That's a big one. I got a bunch of those, so I got to get those wired up. I got the 2 medallions here that talk back and forth. Those are both 5 volt. So I'll have to run a special line for that. And a special line for the book. And I'll probably do that last after all the lighting's done. And then I've got to get 2 floods out. And last year we did green. I think this year we're going to do orange. And get those up and in. I've got a control board for the book. I need to get powered up as well. So it's going to be fun. But we got a lot of work to do in here, and it's going to take a while. I don't know if we'll get to any wiring tonight. I've got to figure out how I want to do the wiring. My trunk line, or my main power feed for this display, runs the length of it along the back. And then I can branch out to do the walls on this side. Over here, on the other hand, doing this wall and that back wall over there, I'm going to have to figure out how I want to run the wiring. I could just tap into the main feed, run it over here, and then branch it off to run down the back or something. And the nice thing is I've got this plywood on here. I could just run the wiring across the top of the wall and staple it to it too. I see I'm trying to get all this stuff kind of figured out as I go along. But it won't stop me from hanging lights and putting a little white computer thing boards on the light boxes. That I can do. Just getting it all wired so we have power is the other problem. And it's one of the reasons why it takes so long, because there are a lot of lights in there to hook up. Okay, here's your light check. Joanne and I are out double checking things. We're doing spider first. I have the 2 spots. I do not have any of the pneumatics on, so the jumping spider and attack snake will not go off. But the blue helped. I put a blue spot on him, and that seemed to help. He's still kind of in shadow a bit. And I put an orange spot on the static jump snake. But Suan's cobwebbing really looks good. This one, you get the attack snake down here sitting there, and you got all the cobwebbing up. That is beautiful. The lighting is hitting that just right, Sue.
Good.
I think that's my favorite out of all of them so far. So.
He looks messy sitting there.
Yeah, he does, even not moving. Okay, now time to go out front. All right, here we go. We got George with the blue spotlight. Yeah, and he's going off okay. And we got this guy with the green, so he's doing good. You saw the photo op last night, but we did not have the hay in it. But we just had a couple come over, a new couple. They're planning on coming. And they were asking about the skeleton. And I had to tell them where I got the skeleton at, how much I spent, what I did to it, and what have you. And they liked it. And then we've got Suan's work with the cobwebs and my lighting out front here. We got that done. You gotta walk down this way and you can see the witch. I put a red floods on her. And you can see a few of the peepers. There's 3 of them up there. And then the Make-A-Wish sign. Now in here in the entrance, like I said, we put red floods on the witch. I'm thinking about changing them out, doing blue or green. It just seems too dark.
Yeah.
And with me standing here moving, she should be going off.
Yeah, I think it needs to be put brighter.
Yeah, so I'll probably change those out tomorrow. Because the sensor's not even picking up my hand in front of it. But if I shout like that, she'll go off. So we'll have to see. And then I put another red spot over here to highlight this corner. I think I'm going to switch it to blue or green. What do you think?
What?
The floods. Switch it to blue or green.
I'd go blue because she's got gold.
Yeah.
And I think the green would just, you know,
Yeah.
make it a weird color.
Another thing I could do is I could just leave the reds up and mount a blue up here at the top of the post aimed that way.
You could.
You know,
They're breaking it as they come through.
yeah, and do a blue spot on, and that would light her up a bit more and might trick the sensor.
Could.
And it would be easy. I wouldn't tie it into the entrance circuit because I'd have to run wiring and stuff down. I'll just tie it in up here on that wire there, which is what's powering the top of the pillars and stuff. It'd save on wire a bit. What do you think? And then leave the red?
Yeah.
Okay. I think the set dresser is getting cold.
What gave you away, huh?
There we go. Anyway, we're going to get locked up. There's your nighttime view. While I'm at it, here I'm going to turn on my headlamp. We are working in here. I've been going through and I've got all my little control boxes mounted to all my light boxes. I think I'm going to come back through and mount my spots to the ceiling and get all the spots in, and then we're going to call it quits for tonight. So let's see where we get to. End of the day wrap up with Kaylee. She insisted on being out. Huh? Yeah, you insisted on being out here. Gotta be on camera so everyone can see your pretty face. Doesn't she have a pretty face only a mother can love? And a papa. Huh? Yeah, Papa loves you too. Anyway, end of the day wrap up. I can't sit here and keep sweet talking the dog for the whole wrap up. Started out this morning prior to the vlog getting some soldering work done downstairs, which needed to be done. Got all the stuff out here, got the obelisk and stuff back together and working. Hit the spider, got my 2 spots in over there, and got them aimed tonight, which you saw. And then Sue-Ann was out here as well and did some cobwebbing. Finished off the spider with the cobwebs. Then I went and grabbed my lighting, and we got the front end wired up and lit. We finished off the photo op too before we did that. Got the hay in, got the AC cords in. Let's see. I put in 2 spots over at the exit. One for George and one for the ghoul in the corner. And I think the flood for George, he really doesn't need one. But we use it kind of as a tripper for him to trip him. So he'll go off. His sensor is in his nose. It needs to be down lower on that guy. The flood really didn't do much. It did light him up. He looked nice underneath the light. But the light was up too high. So people, even me, walking by him, unless I'm walking right in front of him, and I mean literally several inches away from him, my shadow doesn't trip him. So I need to move that light down the wall. I got to figure out where to put the light so when people walk by it, they block the light from George and trigger him. I also added on the entrance, we put in 3 red floods, and we were noticing the witch was not going off. So I added a blue flood, and that semi worked. That's another one I think I need to lower down a bit, so anybody walking by who walks in front of the light will trip the witch. But putting the reds up on the head and the shoulders and the blue on the body look good on her. So tomorrow I'm going to have to move both those lights, mess around with them a little bit. Shouldn't take long. So we got the exit, the entrance, the front end, the photo op, the spider, and Swan's tube hallway are basically done. Swan did cobwebbing both in the spider and out front, and that turned out looking really, really nice. We finished off the day with getting lights and stuff hung up over in the photo hallway. It's going on about 8:30. I've got the energy. I could work out here longer. My problem is I need to run wire and everything from the power box out to that display, and then figure out how I'm going to get power into all the lights and stuff. And I'd rather wait till I had daylight with that for that. And I'm a little bit fresher. I am getting kind of groggy. Hanging lights is one thing. Figuring out wiring puzzles, I'd rather be a little bit more alert. So we're going to call it slightly early. We're quitting. I normally quit out here between 8:30 and 9 anyway, so we're getting there. Kaylee's happy we moved her truck. Did we move the truck? Huh? She's been begging me since I came out here after dinner to go move the truck. She was ready. She wants Daddy in the house tonight. Huh? Yeah, you want Dad to go in the house. Yeah. So, we got that done. Tomorrow, we'll get those 2 lights, one for George and one for the witch, moved, and we'll check them tomorrow night. And then it's going to be photo hall for the rest of the day, and that's basically running wire and getting everything hooked up. I've got a massive 12-volt line I've got to run just to do all the lights and the light boxes. I've got another 5-volt line I need to run, or 2 of them to run. One, the book on the Scalabra, and one for the cameos on the wall. That way I can do one line and just power them all off of one line, but I want to be able to control those props. So like if the book starts acting up, I can kill the power to just that prop and have the cameo still working, or vice versa. So that requires 2 5-volt lines. Then I have a separate 12-volt line that goes to the brain board that I need to run. It's in there that activates the book, and sometimes I tie the fogger into it as well. I don't know if I'm going to do that this year or not, but I'm going to get the brain box installed in there. I like having a tripper in there anyway, so past that, I don't know. If we can get the photo hall totally done and the fence in place, and Swan's got some pumpkins and stuff she wants to put in there after I get the hay and stuff in. If we can get all that done, we might move over to Pirate and start messing around in there. That could be, and most of the time is, another one of those big projects. So I don't know how far we'll get on that one. But we are making progress. We will see you tomorrow. Stay spooky.
Stay toxic.